All right, everybody, welcome back. Sam's Army match week number 12. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to start with the Premier League, where sadly we have to discuss the North London Derby, and then a little blue-on-blue violence will, I'm sure, come up at some point. Halftime will be also related to said blue-on-blue violence with the weekly What If. Around the world, we'll talk USL pettiness, and then, of course, stoppage time with Evan Toney's best bets and everyone's favorite segment, GOAWs. Now, time to welcome in this week's panel of beauties, full of Tweedles, who are no doubt ready to spit hot fire at me. We'll start with Mr. Mitchell Goulet, a.k.a. Overtime Mitch. Good to see you. Great to have you. Can't wait for you to talk a little Arsenal Tottenham here. But before we get to that, your intro question. Have you ever been fired?
Ooh. No, but I plan on it.
Okay, it's good. Life goals.
I have a list of things that I'm going to do once I get fired. I'm going to get around to watching a bunch of movies that I've never seen that I probably should have, and spend 2 weeks and really lean into being a piece of shit. But that day has not come yet. No.
Okay. All right. Let's look forward to. I have not. I've only really had about 2 jobs in my entire life, which is so. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. If I do too much more, podcasting, blogging, maybe it'll come back to bite me. Mikey, have you ever been sacked unceremoniously?
Yeah, I've been sacked. I got sacked from a soccer facility where I managed because there was a neighborhood ordinance to stop playing after 10, and I used to always do open pickup games and play with my friends way after hours and keep the lights on. And after one too many times of the owner watching back the video footage from the night before and realizing that all the complaints were valid, he sent me packing. So I got away with it for a couple months, which was fun. But
that's an unbelievable way to get fired.
He's like, "Did you play last night? We got a complaint." I'm like, "No, sir." He's like, "I'm watching the tape. You're out there."
Did you know they had videos?
Yeah, of course. I just thought I could get away with it.
That's a great story. That's a great story. That's I want to put on you a little feather in your cap for a real soccer.
Yeah.
All right. We'll move on to the Premier League. Before we do, though, quick word from our friends over at the Sam's Army Patreon. If you guys are not in the Sam's Army Patreon yet, what are you doing with your lives? Honestly, great little soccer sicko community. You get access to all the other stuff. Tommy's Brain. Eventually, we'll do some sort of kickabout. Hopefully, lots of stuff. Go over and get Sam's Army Patreon, $3.99 a month. Best money you ever spent. Premier League time. Let's keep it quick. Let's keep it short. we can skip it all together if you guys really want to. I think we got to start with the North London Derby, which was men versus boys this weekend. I don't even know what else to say. This was not close in any way, shape, or form. I will give myself a small little praise or clap on the back by saying that when I saw the lineups, I immediately put in some bets on over 3.5 and over 4.5, which yay, I guess. Yay for me. But yeah, Mikey, what do we want to talk about here? We got Eze scoring. Everything that went wrong could have gone wrong went wrong. Like Eze scoring a hat trick. You guys just decimating us in every way, shape, and form. I have nothing good to say other than well played to Arsenal. That's it. That's really all I have to say about this. Mikey, what do you got to say?
Thanks. You haven't really earned the right to give any opinion on this. You guys didn't show up. I believe before when we recorded last week, I said the meanest thing I could say is that it didn't feel like something to worry about, or it didn't feel as massive. I think that people tend to overreact to derbies and emotional matches. People saying like Trossard cemented himself as a cult hero figure, as a legacy game. It's like, we're 12 matches into the Premier League season. So I think the freakouts are all a little much. The gap being 6 points is absurd. You can see not to point to Liverpool, but you can see how quickly form can go away. So I think taking a step back to enjoy it and understand that, you guys are really, really shit and we are really, really good. And that's awesome. But that only gets you so far. We need something to show for this. So a little bit of calmness about it. If it was, if the stakes were higher, as in you were higher up in the table and the lineups were more comparable, it might feel better. But yeah, that's my measured take on it, other than the fact that you just suck.
Your measuredness, or the dismissiveness with which you are sort of reacting to this game is actually by far the meanest thing you probably ever said in the history of this podcast. So I do not appreciate
Thank you.
it. But at the same time, I don't even know what else to say. We just got bossed around the field. Mitch, any thoughts on the narrative storylines coming out of this?
Yeah, the narratives are fun. I enjoyed them during it as well. The whole Eze and transfer narrative, that's really good. I don't think it happened in this game, but I do think Leandro Trossard is working his way to club legend status. I think the man shows up in big games and puts in performance after performance, even when those around him haven't. Scores big goals, is a big game player, and shows up in the big moments, and that's what you want from a club hero. So I do think he's getting there. I don't know if he cemented it with this game, but it's just, we took care of business. We said it on the program last week where Mikey said it didn't feel like, we weren't anxious ahead of this. It felt like we needed to go in, play 90 minutes of what we knew how we could do on a football pitch, and we would come out with a win. I didn't think it would be that dramatic, but looking back, yeah, we were that much of the better team.
Yeah, I mean, our one and almost only chance was a shot from midfield that went in.
Heads up from Richie for that.
It's almost a perfect Spurs goal in that it was a truly Puskas level placement. It's a crazy hit, and it doesn't matter at all. Probably the greatest goal you'll score this season, and it doesn't matter.
I mean, listen, we've had better against you that I can remember. I mean,
Lamella for sure.
Yes.
The Lamella goal, yeah,
that was incredible.
There's some that have ripped my heart out. Even Kane's bender, when he won in the corner flag, like great goals against us, but this one is right up there with the best, and it's my personal favorite because it had no impact on the result whatsoever.
That's fair. Some of your players I really don't like.
That's good.
Yeah, but there's actually some players that Eze is not one of them. I actually don't really dislike him all that much, although
Well, you have Xami Simons. Why would you care about Eze?
Yeah. Who do you dislike? I'm curious.
Trossard. I really, really do not like.
I could see not liking him for sure. He's got a little bit of an edge and an attitude.
And Gabriel, to be fair. I mean, I think that's expected. But for some reason,
everyone's saying
this
Gabriel. Yeah. This Gabriel thing is getting blown out. He tagged Richie in the post. They're both Brazilian. Give it a break. This isn't real.
I think that they are actually friends off the field. I don't think.
Yeah, that's what they're in on it. Yeah, this is everyone's freaking out. Relax.
Yeah, I don't think people are talking about like this is going to cause problems in like the Brazil locker room.
Nobody cares.
That's the least of Brazilian locker room's problems.
If they're both in the Brazilian locker room, like that. Yeah.
Well, as we said, Richie just keeps scoring goals, even if they don't matter.
Yeah, great goal. Are you Frank out yet?
No, I'm not Frank out, and I don't even think he's on the hot seat. But like that was awful. Like that was one of the worst losses that I've sat through as a Tottenham fan, and I've been a Tottenham fan for a long time, and I've seen a lot of bad losses, and that was just like right up there with like the absolute worst. It was just like we didn't show up to a North London derby, and like. It sort of started before the kickoff, like we saw the lineup and like, oh wow, this is what we're doing, huh? Okay, well maybe we'll be able to hang on and get like a lucky on the break goal, kind of how we beat City earlier in the season. Maybe we'll do that here. Nope, that did not happen. It was just a 90 minutes of pain. It sucked. It was awful, and I have nothing really good to say other than hopefully Thomas Frank learns a lesson from this, perhaps, and sort of doesn't do that again. Like the Paulinho Bentancur in double pivot thing is obviously trash. He is missing some guys. I'm not even going to like say that because it's really not the reason at all why we lost this game. But it sucks that we don't have a real 9. It doesn't matter though. Like it does not matter. We just got bossed off the field. we got bossed off the field, and hopefully he learns a lesson from this and never looks this bad ever again, because that was just trash. But no, I'm not Frank out. I just think he needs to be better, and I think our team needs to be better.
All right.
I don't even have anything else to say. I will say this.
That's
I don't have
that's
anything else to
funny.
say
The
except
way
for
you
one
did
more thing. The fact that this was the first game where you guys looked kind of scary. Remember, we had this whole argument a couple months ago. Like,
Stop.
nobody looked scary. You guys just looked like a championship level team. Championship being like title winning level team, and fair play.
Judges in Munich this week. I truly think, I don't think, with all due respect, I don't think that anything we do against you should be measured to that weight.
I'm going to mute you with this nonsensical dismissiveness
With all
bullshit.
due respect,
First of all, we're in Champions League. We're playing Champions. We're winning Champions League games. We were in top 4 a minute ago. Chill out with your little dismissiveness.
You were in top 4 in week 11. Be nice to us.
Well, it's more. He's being a little extra. You're being a little extra, Mikey.
No, I'm not.
All right. Anything else? Last words on North London Derby, or we just never talk about this again?
We can move on.
Okay. Yeah. Never talk about this. Never discuss again. That was awful. Oh. Okay. I don't know. I said blue on blue violence because, it's Everton. Is the real terminology green on green? I don't know what the war terminology here is, but the big talking point outside of the North London Derby was, of course, United hosting Everton, where Idrissa Gana Gueye, about 13 minutes into the game, walked up and slapped the shit out of his own teammate, Michael Keane, after having a little, tete-a-tete in the box where they were yelling at each other. He just walks up. Keane kind of gives him a little bit of a shove, tells him, kind of like Mikey, his little dismissiveness, go be a midfielder, go do something. And Gueye, who's about a foot and a half shorter than Keane, just walked up and smacked the shit out of him. And the ref, of course, walked up and gave him a red card, sent him packing. So then, of course, that should be game at Old Trafford, 0-0. We got 77 minutes to hold down the fort. Nope. Everton went and scored a goal, 27th-ish minute. Drewsbury Hall, hell of a goal. And then they held on, and they really did hold on to the lead and won 1-0 at Manchester United. Just an crazy game, crazy turn of events. Obviously, the first thing that comes to my mind, and probably a lot of people's mind if you're my age, is the Newcastle-Aston Villa game from 15 years ago, where Kieran Dyer and Lee Bowyer had a little punch-up at midfield, and they both got sent packing from Liverpool. They're both Liverpool teammates. They both got sent packing. So that's even worse than one teammate getting sent packing. But still, it's a crazy situation. I don't know, Mitch. Any thoughts? Any reactions to the fact that at this Everton lost a player to violence against their own team, and yet went on to win? Is this actually maybe a good thing for Everton?
That is no, I don't. If that were a good thing, I think they would play with 10 every week and start hitting themselves to get sent off early. No, I don't. I appreciate your creative thinking there. I'm curious as to when the last time in the Prem there's been a sending off for violent conduct against a teammate.
It has to be Dyer and Bowyer.
Back in 1918 when you were.
I actually don't know the year, but it was in the 2000s, I think.
I bet. That just shows more about the state of United right now than it does Everton. I think that Everton locker room obviously has some deep-seated issues that I'm not going to go into because I don't know too much about Everton. Adam F. could tell you all about it, though, and I think it just speaks more to United. They're lost. If you can't beat an Everton team that's just punched themselves in the face to get a man sent off early in the first half, then what are we doing?
I mean, United, we've kind of gone back and forth on this podcast about United. There were a couple weeks there where like, you know what, it seems like they might be turning the ship around. Amarim might have them heading in the right direction. I think, Mikey, you were the one that might have given them a little credit for seemingly sorting things out. Do you agree with Mitch that this is sort of the state of affairs at United not being nearly as in line as we think?
Well, what I said he figured out was to play Šeško at the 9 and play Diallo all 90. Šeško immediately gets hurt. So they really are lacking at the striker position, like severely. Xerxes I was a big Xerxes guy at Bologna, and he stinks. The experiment with Mason Mount is a huge waste on everybody's financial and just mental strength here. He isn't working for them. That I think that's it. I really do think that they have to reshuffle the deck. I saw something today about how Xabi Alonso's under fire from Madrid because even though he's leading the league because of the style that they play, and out of nowhere, like Amorim feels like the safest man in the world. That doesn't make any sense to people if you're a club like Manchester United, which I realize doesn't mean what it used to, but still, you have to hold yourself to a certain level of standard and stop doing this. I just feel like he has to go. I think it's going to happen before the Christmas break.
So you're I feel like you were off the Amorim out train, but you're fully back.
He's got to go. I wasn't really fully on.
Now,
it felt like Amorim rode through that initial wave of Amorim out from the fans, and then he kind of got a second wind of fans being like, all right, well, I guess we're sticking with him. I guess then we have to get behind him and trust the process a little bit. And then they showed glimpses. They had, that kid got his haircut scissors ready. And then since then, there's no hope. There's no semblance of a plan. I think he is now back into 80% of the fans being Amorim out.
Adam makes a good point. Lost in the discussion is the fact that Gay is 36 years old, not some fresh-faced kid trying to handle pressure.
Great point. I did not know that.
I didn't know he was 36. I knew he wasn't 26, but I would have guessed closer to 26 and 36.
There's a lot of Gays to keep track of.
It's true. It's a good point. I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it right there.
I meant that.
I do think on the Everton side, I do think that there is something positive that could come from this. The fact that you went into Old Trafford, you're down to 10 men, 13 minutes into the game from an absolutely insane incident, and you came together and fought, were resilient, as Moyes said in the post game. Now, the flip side of that is if this speaks to some sort of deeper rot, obviously that could be a real problem. I don't know. It's tough. We're not in the locker room. We don't know exactly what's going on. If there's some sort of underlying problem between Gay and Keane or, whatever, midfielders and defenders, I don't know. But barring that, I'm not even going to say assuming that's not the case, just if that's not the case, I actually think this is a good thing for Everton. The fact that they were able to come out of there with a win is impressive. They're ahead of Liverpool in the table, which Adam was saying, our resident Everton fan on the Discord. This has been the first time in years and years and years, obviously, that they've been ahead of Liverpool. I do think that they, as a Spurs fan, of course I'm going to say this, but I said it to Sunderland earlier, just these are the moments you capture. You enjoy this, talk all the shit you can. I know the Liverpool fans in the Discord are already getting a little unhappy with us talking shit about Liverpool, and Tyler refuses to come back on the program since they're so bad. But just enjoy this moment. Who knows if it's gonna last? It might not. Just bottle it, take a drink, take a sip, whatever. This sort of brings us to the other game. So the Arsenal decimating Spurs is a fun storyline, in a little microcosm, but it's more important in the big grand scheme of things is the place it puts you in the table and in the title race, which, just jumped you up further because this weekend City lost and Liverpool lost, both at home, I believe. I could be wrong with Manchester City. I know that Liverpool lost at home 3-0 to Nottingham Forest, who just, 2 weeks ago was in utter disarray. So crazy results this weekend. I don't know. Any thoughts, Mikey, on either the City game, the Liverpool game, or what it means for Arsenal and title race?
Still think City is the main threat. I think I've heard a little bit of Chelsea stuff this week, especially today. They looked super impressive against Barcelona. So you have to take somebody like that seriously. Cole Palmer still yet to return. Don't dismiss them 6 weeks away or 6 points away. The City loss, while not surprising, I think Newcastle's going to give a lot of teams a lot of problems. Certainly damaged the momentum that they had going, and seems to have put in a little bit of a damper on the Haaland single-handedly launching a title campaign discussion. It certainly felt that way.
He still kind of is.
I know, but it certainly seems it put a little bit of calm to that.
Yeah.
What I really want to say is I, for the first time, looked at the table this weekend and thought Liverpool's done, like finally done. Like I didn't really think about it in that lens. I always thought we're gaining a gap until they start to surge, but I think they've already, 6 losses. I think they may already be done.
So the interesting things, I totally understand where you're coming from on that. The interesting sort of element there is, so they're in 12th place, right? I mean, that's firmly mid-table or bottom half. And yet, there's a world in which they could win this weekend and almost be in top 4. Because there is
correct.
Sort of the crowd of teams that are on 20 points to 18 points. You have Crystal Palace in 5th on 20. And you have Liverpool at the bottom of the 18-point teams at 12th. So, like, the logjam.
Yeah, I think it wasn't. I'm trying not to look at the table from a seeding perspective this early. It's just, I just look at the loss number. It's really the big one. And I think 6 feels like a number. With the form we're in, 6 feels like a number that wouldn't be at the top of the table come the end of the year.
Yeah,
6.
Yeah.
If you think about like the title races before, like when the cities and even Liverpools were winning the titles and the points totals that they were finishing with, and now Liverpool has 6 losses. Obviously, you would think just completely out of it. I do think they're out of it. They have nobody. There's nobody in front of them with even 5 losses. So top 11,
right?
Not even 5. So they're a tough spot. I guess we'll wait till Tyler gets back to maybe defend them. But like that. They look bad. I mean, that was a terrible performance, just as much as Tottenham was.
Do you think Tyler's to blame for this? I feel like he's been gone exactly since they started losing.
I've heard people say that, yeah.
Many people are
during the beginning of the season, when he was more active on this program,
I think they were okay, right?
Well, they were getting those late results, right? Where they would kind of pull it out towards the end, and people said they can't continue with these type of results. And then Tyler went off the pod. And then he got quote, married, sure. And Liverpool started losing. And in dramatic fashion, too. So I've heard more than just you say that Tyler could be to blame for Liverpool's dropping form.
I'm just asking questions. Mitch, don't say that I said that, okay? I'm just asking questions.
Okay, all right. You're asking the right ones, though.
Yeah, listen, somebody else can connect the dots. We're just putting the dots out there. Adam actually had a question.
1 dot.
Pretty much. It's a straight line, but
I'm picturing Charlie Kelly in front of a board.
When you say done, by the way, Mikey, do you mean done? Liverpool's done as in out of Europe or out of the title?
Yeah.
Title race.
Yeah. Okay. I'll agree to that. Okay, we've talked about pretty much everything. The only other result that I thought was interesting was Bournemouth and West Ham 2-2, and Nuno seemingly kind of having West Ham back on the tracks. Did Marinakis make the right call, number 1 for Forest and for West Ham? Did they both come out of this like in a better spot because of this? It honestly 100%. Seems that way. I don't know. It's just putting it out there. I don't know.
Bournemouth with no Semenyo and having sold everybody that's any good might not be good. That seems odd, huh?
Well, that is fair. Without Semenyo, who's by far the most dangerous player, I mean, that's a fair caveat.
The stacks of cash are not playing center back for them that they've sold.
It's true. All right, fair point. Good point. So do you disagree that Nuno's got West Ham sort of back.
No, there's a Callum Wilson sance happening that is hopefully going to save everyone's job. When has that ever gone wrong?
Callum Wilson sounds. It's a great name. Great term. All right. We'll leave it there. Nice wins for Fulham.
Leeds in more trouble than we thought.
I think they're in about as much trouble as we thought.
Fair.
I feel like we're exactly there. They did score first, and it's like, oh, maybe this might be the game. Chelsea beat Burnley. Brighton beat Brentford. It was nothing shocking. Crystal Palace beat the team formerly known as Wolverhampton Wolves, who are just god awful at this point. All right, what we got going on in FPL this week? Another win for Mikey.
Let's talk about FPL. This is the highest I've ever been in my entire life, brother. This is paradise right now. I look at the app 10 times a day.
Just to make sure you're still there. I
get the feeling of like a serotonin drip when I see the green arrows every time I look. I'm doing it right now.
I mean, I hear you. That's why I bet, and every time I get like the goal alert, I get ooh.
This might replace gambling for me. I might just become a full-time fantasy fucking Premier League player.
Fantasy savant. Well,
you
are
top 100,000 in the world.
Dominating, obviously. Oh,
that's impressive.
95,378.
If you say that, if you just sort of say I'm in the top 100,000, it really doesn't sound very impressive to anybody who doesn't really know what's going on with FPL. If you actually play FPL, follow FPL, yeah, I'll even admit
there are 12 million people playing FPL.
That's not bad. It's not bad. So obviously you're dominating the Sam's Army Council of Elders at this point. You're almost
you're the story in there. You fucking stink too.
While the artist formerly known as Tyler Terrence has been avoiding the pod, he's not avoided setting his lineup every week, unfortunately.
You check?
Yeah, I just did. I was like, how is he still he's beating me? He scored 56 points last week. I scored 33. So yeah, I'm in the cellar at the moment. Now in the Sam's Army Discord sickos. Are you or
I'm in second. I'm hunting Dalton. I'm 9 off Dalton.
He had a tough week, almost as tough as mine. 35 points. So Dalton's
I'm
gonna
first get him
in the sicko group. You're in second. Silver Wolf, Matthew Perry's in third, and Tim Marks. Los Peros Hermanos is in fourth. And then finally in the Discord or in the podcast wide league. Where are you in that? Do you know? I'm sure you know.
16th.
16th. Jesus,
I'm looking at the app.
There's some good FPL players in our podcast.
Yeah, I'm still 25 points off the top, 35 points off the top of that.
James Bean, bring back Obama. Bring back Obama is in first place.
Adama.
Oh, Adama. Yeah, okay.
You think it was bring back Obama?
I did. I thought when I read it really quickly, I thought it was bring back Obama. Bring back Adama is in first. Bass Kings FC. Chris Deal is in second. NicoBreen.org. Luke Hart is in third, and Waneri out the other. At least I can pronounce that now. Is in fourth, and finally Brown Coffee FC Action is in fifth. And you guys
trying to see where 772 puts him in the world.
Yeah, that's got.
I'm just scrolling.
Oh
no, we're not in the top 1,000.
Well, still ridiculous. All right,
probably 2,500.
Weekend ahead quickly. And by the way, we have a full slate of midweek games coming up next week, so we're gonna quick turnaround. I guess maybe they're playing these now instead of doing the holiday season. I don't know the thought process behind it. But this weekend, some of the highlights I will suggest: Everton hosting Newcastle, game of upstarts. Chelsea, Arsenal, obviously, London derby. West Ham hosting
top 2.
Liverpool, fair point. 2 versus 1. That's a very fair point. Crystal Palace hosting Manchester United. Well, I guess we really don't need to even ask both of you where your eyeballs are going to be this weekend. Arsenal hosting Chelsea. But Mitch, any thoughts on the game? Are you as dismissive about this matchup as Mikey was about the North London derby this past weekend?
No, not one bit. Chelsea are a much better team than your Spurs. We did see it today against Barcelona, and like Mikey said, Cole Palmer yet to come back.
Fair point. By the way, that was after 10. They went down to 10. They scored all their goals after Barcelona went down to 10.
Yeah, but I still think they looked.
Yeah,
they were way on. They were all over them.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. Even when it was 11s, but I think João Pedro has been a quiet FPL warrior for me. He's shown up in the weeks when Haaland hasn't, and for that I really appreciate him. But I have dropped him this week because I can't have him scoring on us. I'm cautious of Chelsea, but I do still think that City are the biggest threat to coming in and dethroning us. Chelsea, I don't know if they have it over the course of 38 weeks. The roster that they have right now, I think, is a European contending roster, but I don't see them winning a title. That being said, this is a big 3 points, just like it is every week. But this one in particular, it would mean a lot to definitively beat the second place team.
Okay, Mikey, anything to add there?
I'm excited for the matchup, and I do think there's not a worse time to play Chelsea than coming off the back of a game like that. So I think they'll be full of piss and vinegar, as they say. So I have the game that I want to point out. It kind of echoes what happened earlier. I think if Palace beat United 2 or 3-0, Amorim gets fired on Sunday.
Yeah.
United then have a quick turnaround with West Ham on Thursday. So that might save him a couple days, but I think that there's a chance he could go because they play West Ham and then Wolves right after. So it'd be a good way to bring somebody in or have a little manager bounce. So I think that could potentially happen on Sunday. I captained Mateta last week. I won't make that mistake again, but he could have a good one. And could the Liverpool situation get worse away to West Ham?
No.
Oh, it can. What's the
Yeah.
quote?
Again.
Oh, again. That would, that's actually a great game. I should have called that one out. That will be fun.
A lot of pressure. And I feel like West Ham are coming in feeling no pressure.
They shouldn't.
I think they feel okay. I think they've stabilized and they're like, this is a free hit for us. And I think that could be exactly what they need.
Now, I like managers who just come out and sort of tell it how it is and be honest, be upfront. Arne Slot is maybe a little too much.
He should do less of that.
Yes, he needs to.
I don't know what's wrong.
Like, dude, I think that's not good. Like, I get it why some coaches maybe don't do that, or actually all coaches do that.
He gives the air of like, I mean this to be insulting, but like that there's nothing we don't know. Like there's no like level that like Belichick was always great about being like players loved you, but the media hated him. You're like, what's that? Slot just feels like the same dude. Like I feel like there's no more than what you see with that guy. So
he's a little too Dutch. When they ask him a question, he just like says exactly what he's thinking. It's like, yeah, don't do that, man. You're just making it worse.
He'll be fine. He just loves Ibiza.
That's super endearing when you're at the top of the table too. That's like a really like your fans love that. When you're in 12th, they do not.
He's gonna go over the holiday, and people are gonna be like, "Get the fuck back to England."
Yeah, that's what happens when you're losing ball games. Haven't they lost 6 out of 7 at this point?
Yes.
Are you doing it on purpose?
What are you? This kind of looks fucked up now.
All right, we're done with the Premier League. Moving on, halftime. Before we get there, Mikey, you did such a great job promoting our good friends over at kickit.net. You wanna give it another go?
Yeah. If you get fired from your soccer facility job, or you recently came into some PTO because you got married 6 months ago, if there's time to kill, there's nothing better than getting your friends together, putting up a little soccer tennis net. Sometimes you pull a towel across with 2 chairs. No, buy Kick-It. One-time investment, lifetime of fun. If you want to play games with your boys and kick soccer balls back and forth while you're killing time, nothing to do, Kick-It is the thing to do. Use promo code SAM25 for at least 25% off. Can't promise anymore, but you never know when you punch it in. It could be 30, 40, guaranteed at least 25% off using code SAM25 at checkout.
I don't even think it's 25%. I don't know what the percentage. You keep saying it was Sam 25 because it was 2025.
Keep it up and I'll make it Sam 30. Watch it.
So shout out to our guys and sorry to our guys over at Kick-It.
Kickit.com/Sam.
.net.
No, I don't know.
Kickit.net.
Kickit.net.
Go check it out.
30% off.
At least.
The first 97% of that promo was fucking, you nailed it. That really went off
Thank
the
you.
rails. Fair effort though. All right, halftime. Weekly what if. All right, Mitch, put yourself in David Moyes' spot right now. You got two players that just got into it on the field. One of them got sent off. If you're David Moyes, what's the way to handle this?
Is Idrissa Gana Gueye Muslim?
Let's assume yes. I want to know what comes next.
Okay, well that throws Plan A out the window. I was gonna put him in a room with a 30 rack and just have him figure it out.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
A ball, to be honest. Let him and kick it probably. and
Great shout.
And that is how that we tie that promo back together. I think I would have those two figure it out over 1 or 15 beers each, and I don't know if it's representative of some like deeper seated issues. I don't know if those two have a problem with one another or if it was just heat of the moment. But I do think that conflicts between individual players like that should be sorted out between the individual players and come back into training afterwards, give everybody a hug in front of everybody, and get back to business. I don't think it needs to be bigger than it has to be.
Yeah, Ghana, as Adam just said, and I checked on the Google, Ghana is a practicing Muslim. So 30 rack.
Okay. All right, circle back to me, then I'll figure something else out.
So he's a maybe.
So we'll do the maybe on the 30
We'll
rack.
have Keane get pissed drunk and just... No. Come back.
Well, Mikey, any thoughts on how Moyes should handle this?
I loved how he handled it. He just said, I love when they fight. He just left it at that.
It did. His word was resilience, which
well, he's PCing it, but he basically was like, we got a result. I don't care how the fuck it happens. Like, just get me out of there.
I think that's fair. I'm thinking back to
who's it up to him? What's it up to him to talk about it? Like he like two guys on his team acted like children, and he's like, we won. I don't want to fucking tell you.
It's true. I mean, I'm thinking back.
Did the best with what I got.
So I looked it up. So Dyer and Boyer, it was 19 years ago. So doing the math, 2006. And what Graham Souness, who was the coach at Newcastle then, did was force them to walk out for
take a picture.
this just incredibly awkward press conference where he had them shake hands and sit there like in front of the cameras shaking hands while he then had a little speech prepared. It was the most awkward. It was maybe the worst thing possible to the way they handle this. I think Moyes, I agree with you guys. Just Moyes say, yeah, I like these guys fighting. Now, if there is something deeper that this is getting towards, then obviously that's going to be a problem. But just a one-off kind of like, fuck you, we're going to be boys tomorrow thing. Like, yeah, I got no problem with this at all. And as Fred said, Keane does have a super slappable face. So that's a fair point there. All right. Moving on to around the world. We're missing our guy for the MLS minute or hit it and quit it playoff minute, unfortunately, this week. But I'm not even going to try and step into his shoes, but I will just give a quick shout out to the somebody else wants to do it. Go for it. We do have the semifinals coming up with on the western side we got San Diego and Vancouver, and on the eastern side we got the Evil Empire and New York City FC. So that will be interesting on the 29th, which is I assume Saturday.
Is that lineup photo of Inter Miami being all Argentinians and the Greek and an Uruguayan real? The whole lineup?
Sounds about right. Why'd you get so loud all of a sudden? But yeah, that sounds right.
I don't watch this godforsaken league. We're anti-MLS in my home, but you guys allowing that to happen is absurd. Clean it up.
Who's you guys in this?
You American soccer fans, Mitch over here, being all like on the sideline of every marquee American soccer game in the country. Get American soccer cleaned up, please. I'm looking at the roster. Not a single American. What is this? Thought this league used to have rules.
I think I have more influence than Lionel Messi over roster construction.
Like nobody does, clearly.
Oh yeah. Your audio just got a million times louder, by the way, Mike.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know what happened there. Yeah, listen, but that's always been the thing with Miami. They've been shipping Americans out left and right, like
Yeah,
any
boycott.
chance they can. So now it's down to New York to stop them, and then of course on the western side, San Diego and Vancouver. Shout out to our guy Mayan, who's heading down to San Diego with his
Shut up, Mayan.
Whitecaps fans friend group or supporters group. All right, we'll move on to. Well, actually, no. So the one thing I did want to talk about in this in the Round World section was the situation going on over at USL. Now, I didn't even notice this in real time when I was watching the Pittsburgh and Tulsa final. Shout out to Tulsa, by the way. Good fight this season. Didn't quite get it done, but a great season nonetheless. I didn't notice this when I was watching it live, but I did notice the players walking out pregame, and they had their, support for the Players Association shirts on, saying like, pro rel. Let's not worry about that until we're at pro standards for, professional soccer players. It seemed very innocuous. I know players tend to do things like that every now and again. We've seen NWSL players do that kind of thing. I didn't notice it, but then after the game, when they did the trophy lift, it was like USL Championship League organizers must have just said, "Oh, you're going to pull this shit on national TV with the T-shirts and stuff. Well, then we're going to, pull all, fun celebration type stuff from the trophy lift." And they took there was no fireworks, there was no just pyrotechnics, there was no backdrop of sort of the big the thing that everybody lifts a trophy in front of, which you might think, okay, maybe that's just USL Championship, being USL Championship. No, because the USL League One winner did all that. They lifted it in front of the banner, and they had the pyrotechnics and the fireworks and all this stuff. So it was very clear that the USL Championship was petty enough and sort of vindictive enough that they're like, "Oh, you're going to do this pregame with the Players Association stuff? Okay, well then we're going to take away all the fun from the post game celebration." I think that they may have given them chicken tuna sandwiches or something, tuna salad sandwiches. I didn't see any champagne or any beer or anything in the locker room. So yeah, just an absolutely crazy move by USL Championship to do this. I think. I don't know. Any reaction to this, Mitch? Any thoughts on this?
This is the first I'm hearing. That's kind of fucked up.
Right?
I realize that even if you're in tense negotiations like we understand they're in, to deprive a championship-winning team of libations and normal celebratory, I don't know, accessories that you would have when winning a championship, that's you're putting the integrity of your championship and the fun of winning a championship in your league behind your negotiations, your contract negotiations, if you're the league. This is the first I'm hearing of this. That's bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's petty as hell. I think it's a good way, perhaps, for the league to get more fans on the other side of the fence, which is not what they should want. Although if you saw the fans at the game, they seem to all be on the players' side, and you got to expect that there's going to be a lot
more often than not in these scenarios, though. Fans are going to be on the players' side. I don't know what a league hopes to accomplish by this. This is just a shot. There's no end game to depriving a team of a tifo and pyrotechnics afterwards. It's just a shot that they felt like taking, and I don't think it has any lasting effect. But it makes the league look real bad.
Yeah, it's just so petty. And there's some of these. It's a cool moment for a lot of these players, and to just sort of completely deprive them of the making the moment as big as it should be. It's so petty. It's trash. I don't know, Mikey. Any final thoughts here?
No, nothing, Dad.
All right, moving on. Stoppage time. Let's close it up here. So we are now. Let's see. The stoppage time. I haven't told us best bets, where we are coming off not a bad week. Not a bad week. 4 out of 5. Not bad for your boy over here. We put some winners on the board. We're still in the red, but we're moving in the right direction. So don't mind that. So here we go. Overtrain, 5 aside. We are going. Remember, this is going to be over 2.5 unless otherwise stated. So on Wednesday, we're going to start with the Asian Champions League, where Shanghai Shenhua are hosting Vissel Kobe. That one's definitely going over 2.5. On Thursday, we're going to go to the Europa League, where Victoria Pilsen are hosting Freiburg in Europa. Friday, we are going to the Bundesliga 2, where Hanover is hosting Karlsruhe. Saturday, we are going to everybody's beloved A-League, Western Sydney and Sydney in a local derby. And then finally, on Sunday, we're going to go to the Swiss League, where Servette are hosting Young Boys. So let's hopefully get less red and get a few units back for our good people. Now, Mitch, what do you got for us on Ivan Toney's best bet this week?
Yeah, my book's not working right now, so I don't have the exact odds, but all these are going to be for tomorrow's Champions League games. I like PSV Eindhoven plus 2.5. Tease like a little bit of an alternate line there. They are away to Liverpool, but as we've seen, Liverpool are in a tough spot, and PSV Eindhoven are not. I really like them. If you really want to go for some value, take them to win, take a draw or something, you know. But we have PSV Eindhoven plus 2.5. Both teams to score in Arsenal and Bayern Munich, and then Real Madrid money line. I don't know what that is altogether, but I'm going to guess plus 500-ish. I don't know. Someone do that math. My book's being weird right now.
And just a quick answer to Brian in the chat, weekly question, will there be goals in overtrain game? Yes, Brian, yes. Don't you worry. We will get you those goals that you seek. Mikey, what are you looking at here? Ivan Toney's best bet.
2-unit play. I'm digging out of a hole. We're laddering one guy. We're going to do this the right way. We're going to win it all back at once, like I said last time. It's Vitinha. Okay? Now, here's something to watch for with his shots on target. I'm going to put a full unit on one.
Is this against Spurs?
Yes.
Okay.
Full unit on one shot on target wins me 1 unit. It's plus 105. 2, I'm going to put a half a unit. It's plus 600. That's to win 3. And then 3 shots on target is plus 2,800. I'm going to put a half unit to win 14 units on that. Here's why. Early on in the match, if he shoots once, and you look back, if he doesn't shoot in the first 30, 40 minutes, he won't shoot the entire match, and you'll just be sitting there with a dead picket watching him go square the whole time. But if he hits 1 on frame early, he'll have games where he'll have 5 or 6 attempts and hit 3 on target. He just turns and rips. So I'm thinking if Spurs sit really low and Dembele doesn't play, whatever you may have it, if he just feels it a little bit, you may hit all 3 of these. So I'm going to ladder up Vitinha shots on target tomorrow.
Okay, fair enough. That's PSG versus Tottenham in Champions League.
Correct.
Okay, good shout. Let's finish up with everybody's favorite segment, GOAWs. Mitchell, what do you want to start out with?
I got 2. I got a positive and a negative. What do you want first?
Let's go with the negative.
Okay. The negative is Cristiano Ronaldo and the FIFA disciplinary body that chose to commute his 2 of the 3 games of his suspension after the World Cup. So if you'll recall, he threw an elbow in the Ireland qualification game that they had a couple weeks ago, and he was given a straight red for it. The first straight red of his Portuguese career, which is kind of shocking to me. But either way, he was given a 1-match suspension initially, and then it went to a disciplinary committee that said, nope, that's actually worthy of a 3-match suspension. He served the first one against Armenia at the end of that qualification window, and then he had 2 left. And Portugal does not have any games scheduled before the World Cup. They will. I'm sure they'll schedule some friendlies. But this committee decided that he can serve the last 2 games of this 3-game suspension after the World Cup. Why? I know we did why, but I want to know what fake reason they gave. I did some surface level reading, and they didn't really give like a reasoning for why this should be allowed. And I know we know why, but it's just kind of funny to me. And some people on the internet pointed out that, okay, they're going to try to rig this World Cup to allow Ronaldo to make it as far as physically possible without actually kicking the ball in the net for him. And I'm here for it. I'm actually really interested to see how else the powers that be will bend over backwards to make this the easiest route to the final possible for him, and watch him still lose it. Maybe. I really am looking forward to the tricks that other people are going to pull out to pave the way for an easy World Cup path for Ronaldo. So I'm gonna have an eye on that, and that'll be kind of an ongoing track that I have. And then my positive one is Pittsburgh Riverhounds for winning USL Championship, but not for the reasons that we discussed prior. They scored 1 goal in the playoffs. They advanced every single game on penalties, except for one game, the semifinal, in which they won 1-0, and then they won the final on penalties. They scored 1 goal and conceded 0 their entire playoff run, and I can't think of another scenario that's more deserving of a GOAT.
That's fair shout. Fair shout. It's borderline GKU propaganda, but we'll allow it in this case. You are our sort of GKU representative, so we'll allow it here. But no, I mean, that is a hell of a run. I wouldn't say it was the most exciting, run through the playoffs, but shootouts are exciting, so I guess you got that going for you. But whatever, win's a win. Lifting the title. Unfortunately, no pyrotechnics, but you know what? Fuck 'em. You still got the star above your crest, and you're champions. Mikey, what? Oh, by the way, quickly, one quick other thing on Cristiano Ronaldo. That is the most. It's so ridiculous and so bald-faced, and at the same time, it's just like that's so FIFA. It's pure, unadulterated, expected FIFA-ness. Like it just, I'm not surprised in the least. I do think if they didn't do that, Portugal would have found a way to schedule some games that actually mattered somehow. I don't know how they would have done it. FIFA would have allowed them to do it. That's how they would have done it. FIFA would have allowed them to do it. But yeah, this is just, it's so insane. And it will be funny. Now people are going to think, well, Ronnie just came to the U.S., had some talks with Trump, had some talks with the Infantino. What were they talking about? We'll see come June. All right, good shouts. Mitchell, go. Mikey, what do you got goal-wise?
Quick 2-1, the Washington women's soccer team, college soccer team. I don't know if you're keeping up with this story. Just defeated number 1 seed Virginia. They're in the Elite Eight. In April of this year, their star goalkeeper Mia was diagnosed with kidney cancer and passed away a few weeks ago. And they've put together an incredible run. So it's cool to follow along with that. So go there. And my second one, which is probably even more beautiful for very many different reasons, is Eddie Howe, who had the fucking balls to call out referees to give more protection to midfielder Joe Linton. Howe feels the Brazilian is being unfairly punished by referees. So I just want to give a major shout out. Listen, if Mia can teach you anything, it's that if you believe it, even the most impossible things can happen. And painting Joe Linton as a victim is certainly up there with ambitious ideas. So Eddie Howe, congratulations.
That's fair. I mean, for anybody who doesn't quite catch Mikey's dry sarcasm here, Joe Linton is one of the biggest thugs in the Premier League, and he just goes out there and makes every game just absolutely. He's just like a wrecking ball out there, and he's a big boy. So yeah, this is, if anybody doesn't need a little support from referees, it's probably Joe Linton. All right, my GOAWs this week. I had the USL Championship league organizers written down, but let's go positive. Let's go a positive way. Well, not really positive, but less negative. So I have 2. Cole Palmer, who is going to be out an extra couple weeks because he apparently broke his toe, and allegedly it might have been while playing FIFA, at night. So just, he's one of us. Was
that sarcastic or not?
I thought it was real. I thought it was real. It was Cucurella who said it.
Yes, that's why I'm saying, was that a sarcastic answer, or was it?
I just saw it on Twitter or on the internet or whatever. There was no context. I don't know. But yeah, it was on the internet.
here. We're about
Yeah,
speculation.
it was on the internet, so I'm assuming it's true. I mean, you have to. That's the way you have to do things. But my actual go is, that was honorable mention to Cole Palmer. My actual go is going to be Vladimir Putin, President Putin, who just announced reportedly anyway that he's going to set up. He didn't announce this, but this is reported what he's thinking about, what he's working behind the scenes, that he's setting up an alternative World Cup for countries that were excluded from the upcoming World Cup this summer. So any teams that didn't qualify, or teams such as Russia, who were not allowed to compete, will have a venue to go demonstrate their prowess on the soccer field this summer as like a plan B option for the World Cup. So, anybody who didn't make the real World Cup, there's still an option out there, for an alternative out there for you, which is just, it's such a Putin move. And I'm actually a little surprised, because it just feels like him and Johnny, they might be, I wouldn't be surprised if they're kind of, friendly. They'd probably text back and forth every now and again. Yeah, he's not going to like that. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. But it's a very bold move, and just Pooty being Pooty. Shout out to Pooty. All right, that's all we got this week. Mitchell and Mikey, you guys are the best. Tyler might be back at some point. I don't know. We'll see. As Adam points out, Italy might have a shot to win a World Cup this year. Now they do still have the playoff to get into the World Cup. We'll see how that works out. But Italy, you got a plan B ready for you there. Shout out Mitchell and Mikey. Shout out to Tommy and Tyler. If Tyler ever comes back up for air, we'll see. We'll see. TBD on that. Anyway, everybody in the Discord chat, we got a newbie, Fred. Great to have you. We will see you guys bigger, better, faster, and stronger maybe next week. Cheers, boys. Well, that was